Yes, you guys, what you're saying, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome back for another predicted lineup 11 for our upcoming game on Thursday at 8:15 against Manchester City. This will be an important game, a massive game. It's going to be a very difficult game and a very tense game too. Irrespective of whether we beat Man City or not, we're Chelsea Football Club. We're a big club. We need to show those ambitions. We need to bring the game to Man City. We're playing this game at home. And even though Man City's current form since the restart season has begun, they beat Arsenal 3-0, 5-0 against Burnley as well. They've scored 8 goals, conceding 0. Irrespective of all of that, I feel like maybe one slight advantage that we do have is that Lampard finally has a very close to full strength team to finally work with. We have players like Jorginho who are now returning. We don't know whether Hudson-Odoi might be part of the squad too, and I'm sure we can all hope that Reece James is going to be fully fit for that game on Thursday. I'm now going to look at the current 11 that I feel would be the best one to beat Man City. It is going to be an ambitious team, so I hope you guys do keep an open mind. Without wasting any more time, we start with the first player in this team, working from the striker all the way down, and I have Tammy Abraham up front. Now, the main reason for this was that when I didn't see him start against Aston Villa, my mindset was that, okay, he must be rested for that game against Man City. Giroud could play against Aston Villa because they were a low block defensive team, and against Man City, we're going to need the pace of Abraham, the physicality, his willingness to hold the ball, and most importantly, his aggressive pressing from the front. Abraham up front does give us more variety to create opportunities against Man City, so for me, he's a player that definitely has to start. We now move on to the right wing position, and I have Willian playing in this team. Now, I was slightly surprised to see him start against Aston Villa, but when I saw him play, when I saw the very good team performance he put in, for me, it reminded me of Willian's season. Now, I do personally feel like he has been unnecessarily disrespected. I feel like previous seasons are still being held against the player, and I don't think it's as objective or as fair. Willian has played a decisive team part in the team. Yes, he's not going to score the goals you need. Technically, he's still playing out of position, yet what he provides for the team, the platform, the way he helps with the build-up phase, the momentum, the work rate defensively off the ball, his willingness to track back to and help the team out. This season, he has led as a professional, and it's no surprise why Lampard has been so impressed by Willian this season. He recorded 5 key passes against Burnley, and that really just sums up the low-key goodness that Willian does bring to the team. We are going to need his work rate against Man City. And now to move on to the left wing position, I have none other than Captain America himself, Christian Pulisic. Now, his introduction against Aston Villa came at the perfect time. We missed his incision, we missed those trademark runs inside the box. That conviction, the assertive mentality and positivity that he brings to our offensive play. Now, Christian's shown that he is willing to take responsibility in the final third. He'll take a shot, he'll get himself in a good position inside the box to take a shot on goal as well. And of course, he provides that one-on-one flair and ability. He's going to be so useful for the counter-attacks, and let's hope that Christian can make it 2 goals in 2 games. He's my option at left wing. And now we move on to the midfield positions, and I'm gonna warn you guys, this is very ambitious, but I really want you to hear me out. I have Loftus-Cheek playing as our number 8 down that left hand side. Now, yes, I understand that his performance against Aston Villa wasn't amazing. I think we need to remember that Ruben was playing out of position. You know, his game wasn't to roam in the final third and play with his back to goal and play as a winger. He's a midfield player that collects the ball from the middle, receives it from deep, and drives at the opposition teams. My main reason for having Ruben playing in midfield is to help out Christian Pulisic. I think against Man City, we need to be ambitious. We need to go toe-to-toe against them. I feel like if we use Kovacic in that position, you know, Kovacic for me isn't the best when he's closer to goal. I think round that halfway line, when he's involved in the build-up phase, that's when he's at his element. But against Man City, I don't want to see Pulisic remaining as an isolated figure in the wide positions, and I think Pulisic and Ruben could really have a fantastic partnership. Pulisic will get that offensive support he needs. I mean, you guys, imagine it like this. When Pulisic's making his trademark run in the opposition box, Ruben can then take up the vacated position left by Christian Pulisic. And for my final reason, let's say that Ruben isn't fully there just yet. He still needs that match sharpness. I think it's best to let him start the game instead of having to rely upon the player in the second half. I think if it got to that moment, second half, there's more responsibility. We're looking to players to turn the game into our favour, and ideally against Man City, we need to show that ambition. We can't be afraid. We need to give our attacking players the correct support behind them and consider using the other players as second half subs. We now move on, and I'm going to have Mason Mount playing in this team. Now for me, he was our second best player against Aston Villa. He had an amazing positive effect to the team. Our only midfield player that was bringing threat from midfield. You know, Mason mixes his willingness to press, his work rate with the technical abilities, his ability to affect the goal too, and his chance creation as well. I really feel that Mason playing in a midfield position is his best role, and similar stylistically, I'm not saying identical, similar to how a De Bruyne, you know, picks up those central positions that allows the player to play with that freedom between the lines and in the half space. Playing in this role really allows Mason to really show off the full spectrum of his abilities to the best of his ability, and I feel like him and Ruben is a good start to our midfield. And to complete the midfield three, I have N'Golo Kante playing his holding role like he did against Aston Villa. Now I understand that Jorginho is back, but for me, I seem to remember that when it comes to the big games, I haven't seen Jorginho really stand out. Against Man City, when we lost to them 2-1, there was a few times that he got caught out centrally in midfield and didn't have the pace to get back. For the first goal that Man City scored, De Bruyne, that came from a Jorginho error. He tried to save the situation, he flung himself in. De Bruyne obviously knew that was about to come, and unfortunately, De Bruyne's shot took a deflection off our player and went into the back of the net. I'm bringing up this example to highlight that with Kante playing over Jorginho in this holding role, we get better defensive protection in front of our back four, we get better defensive ability, someone that can win possession back and kickstart counter-attacks. All this talk of Kante potentially being outdone by Man City's press, I don't know where that really comes from if I'm keeping it real. You know, Kante's played against teams like this throughout his entire career, and I think by now, we've seen Kante play further forward these past few seasons. If he was really struggling in the technical side and the ability to evade the press and obviously find the right passing options, he would have been found out a lot longer, you guys. So for me, I do think it's a bit of a myth and a fallacy that Kante can't play this holding role. And players like Jorginho and Cover are just superior in this area. I feel like we're only seeing things from a certain perspective instead of the full range. But you guys, that is the midfield. We now move on to our defenders. Starting at left back, I have Azpilicueta playing down this side. Now my main reason for this is that if you do have a Ruben and Pulisic left wing, I do think that they could benefit from that defensive protection that Azpi can provide. Now offensively, Azpi in the final third won't bring too much against Man City. But for me, the main benefit of having Azpi down the left-hand side is that he can go 1v1 against Mahrez. And Mahrez has been a thorn in our side in the past previous encounters. He scored the goal to make it 2-1, cutting inside down the left wing against Emerson. And time again, our left-backs have shown that they struggle against players that do that. So the fact that Azpi can tackle Mahrez on his stronger foot could give us an advantage and could really help us win that battle at the left flank. And now moving on to our centre-backs, I have Christensen and Rudiger playing together. Now it's quite obvious that Lampard favours them not because of any bias or friendship reasons, but because for the sake of the system, he needs passing out from the back that's quick, that's sharp, and obviously makes it easy for us to play out from the back. Of course, we're a team that also does invite pressure into our own half, and right now we're seeing from a technical perspective that maybe Christensen and Rudiger are much better at playing out from the back compared to a Tomori and a Zuma. Now the fact that City have no aerial presence in their team could be beneficial against players like your Christensens and Rudigers who have struggled in that side. For me, I am worried about the concentration levels. I am worried about the positioning. I think Christensen's really good, but at times Rudiger, he can be a bit too overconfident. So let's hope that both players are fully on point. To end with the back four, I'm going to have Reece James in this team. Now, of course, his cameo in the final 5 minutes wasn't the greatest, but right now, I guess we're all assuming that he will be fully fit, he will be back to things, and he's a player that this team really needs. Against Man City, we're going to need a variety of attacking options, and Reece James' crossing ability, his ability to just help us create the overloads down the right hand side too, and his ability to be involved in the build-up phase, really keeping possession very well of the ball, is going to be key against a Man City. I'd be worried to see what Azpilicueta and Alonso would do against them. Against teams like City, you need to give yourself an opportunity to win that battle in the flanks, and with Reece playing, I would feel a lot more confident. And to end things, I'm going to have Kepa in goal, and I thought his game versus Villa, it gave me confidence. I thought that he looks confident, he looks ready. against Man City is a completely different kettle of fish, but Kepa has shown in our previous encounters against them that he does make some very amazing acrobatic saves, and he has pretty decent form against them. Let's hope he carries that confidence from the previous game to the next game on Thursday. And there you guys is my final team, my predicted 11 lineup for the game on Thursday. Now, as you guys can see on the subs bench, I think with how you're allowed to use extra subs these days, it's not really a massive L if certain players don't start in a game. It doesn't reflect their ability or their rank in the squads. It's going to be for tactical merits, fitness reasons, etc, etc. I'm really hoping that we can maybe carry a lead into the second half, and if you could bring on guys like your Kovacic's and your Jorginhos to just come on, kill the tempo, keep possession, that could give us the platform to potentially get those 3 points against Man City. This will be a very difficult game, and if we were to lose this, I want us to lose the game in the right manners. I want us to have given a fighting chance, maybe just losing the game barely, creating lots of opportunities, and showing that confidence, because even if we lost in manners like this, I feel like we could benefit from the confidence of having played very well against Man City and take that confidence into future games. But anyway, you guys, that is going to be me for today. In the comments below, give me your predicted 11s for the game against City. I'm expecting to read a ton of different ones. There's so many tactical possibilities, different lineups. It's going to be very interesting to read. I'm going to keep things moving. I'm NiniFC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll see you guys later with some more videos.